Again, shut up. I'm talking to you, audience member.
Oh. Yeah, you fat bitch!
Oh, dear.
Get them fucking Cheetos out your fat gob and shut up!
Yeah, stop being so lazy. I know you're stuck inside, right?
Yeah.
But Crazy Chaff J knows what's up, hosting the stream. Get off your ass and come watch the stream. I don't know what that intro was.
Good intro. That was our best intro, though.
It seems like we were both in a similar mood, or that we're both in a similar mood, where we're like, oh, I was enjoying doing nothing and being depressed in bed then.
I wasn't depressed. I was in like quite a state of relaxation. And I was like, oh no, I've got to do a fucking podcast. Why?
Well,
I was just laying in bed staring at the ceiling and then... Ugh.
Is that your latest hobby?
Stop. Yeah.
My latest hobby, apparently, is having the most out-of-control hair possible. Not that you can see it, but I've not cut my hair. Like, I didn't cut my hair for, like, a month before quarantine started, and I thought, fuck it, let's just go with it and grow this thing out. And, it's just...
I saw you post a couple pictures on Instagram of you, and it was the first time I'd seen you with your hair like that. Yeah. And I really wanted to call you and I can't say it on stream, but I wanted to call you the nasty word for a lesbian.
I do look a bit lesbian-y.
Because you actually do just look like a lesbian, and you're even doing the really fucking stupid thing where girls like press onto the cheek when they're taking a picture.
I was doing the anime thing because I look like one of them anime girls.
I just find that so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Are you actually retarded?
It's ironic, Judd. It's what you call ironic.
No, I understand you doing it like that, but I just mean the idea of doing that in general. Why are you doing that?
Because it squishes your face into a cuter looking thing to try and catfish people.
I just think you look like a retard.
I'm not look ridiculous for this stream, but it's just gonna, so I'm just gonna have to leave it.
Okay. Shall we... I feel like I know what a sort of big talking point for this podcast would be, but I don't know if I want to broach on it yet, if you've got some other little things.
I think we should do weekly Rona update.
Yeah. Mine leads on to what I could be talking about for a while, though.
Yeah, I know.
So, my dog got the Rona! He didn't, my dog's fine.
Well, I've kind of not really done much. To be honest, at this point, I'm kind of over it a bit. It doesn't feel as dangerous. Do you know what I mean? It kind of like I'm kind of in a state where I'm like, look, it's all fine now. Come on, stop being silly.
You're so over that whole Corona thing.
Yeah.
It's only been what in this country? How many deaths?
Well, it's been
36,000, were it? That I saw last.
No, that's in America, where it's not.
That's in America land.
It's been nearly 100,000.
Oh no! But you're over it. At least you're over it. That's the thing we should focus.
Well, what I mean is, I'm just kind of like. Well, it's not
just bored of it.
I'm just kind of bored of it, you know? It's like, no, I'm just kind of like in a state where I don't know, it doesn't feel very dangerous at the minute in the situation that I'm in personally, with sort of what I've been doing and kind of what my sort of life is at the minute. It doesn't feel dangerous, and even with like being extra sort of like, not extra careful, like as in doing more stuff than I probably should be. It's very just not doing anything at the minute.
Yeah.
And I don't. That's probably a bad attitude to have, and it's why I've not like thought, no, fuck it, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I'm still like, you know, doing all the rules and that, but I don't know. It feels like we're just at the start of the sort of getting better bit.
Yeah. I read in the paper earlier, because that's the thing that I do apparently, I read the paper.
And you were trying to make fun of me. You fucking
no, okay. But me and you were at like very opposite ends of the spectrum, because I'm here
What spectrum's that, Jed? What spectrum are you talking about there?
the fucking retard spectrum, because yeah, I'm sat here with my beard, drinking my cup of tea, being an old man. I've got my reading glasses on. I'm reading the morning paper, and here you are, looking like a lesbian from Lesbos land, doing your dimple pressing face on Instagram, trying to get all the boys to flirt with you. It's disgusting.
You want the boys to flirt with you.
I do want the boys to flirt with me. I want men. I want hot men.
Well, I don't know. I've kind of settled into sort of a place where I feel like everything's like I'm being as safe as is needed, and not. I can't say I'm being as safe as possible because like everyone could be more safe. I'm liking these emotes that's being spammed on stream, by the way. They're just a load of emotes flying everywhere. But I'm being as safe as is good, like that, like as safe as you need to be, and I'm sort of like doing enough to stay happy-ish, but can't sustain. I couldn't sustain this for like another 2 months. I could sustain it for maybe like another 3 or 4 weeks, I think, before I would have to like go mad or change something. But it does feel like that we could return to like a lot closer to normal in 4 weeks or so.
Yeah. I should think so.
Especially with what's been going on for you.
And that's going to lead it into what I think could be. Well, I might not be talking about it for that long. I started back at work. I went back to work. 3 weeks passed, and it seemed like some smaller places were opening. The groomers that I take my dog to, where my dog gets groomed by pedo dogs, the dog groomers opened up near our house. They apparently they got something saying that they can open up again and that it's safe to get back to work. Which is
weird and seems a bit stupid to me. Like a dog groomers, like I get a vet, but a dog groomers, I don't think they should be allowed open yet. Surely that's one of the least necessary things you could ever think of. A dog groomers.
I don't know, but I suppose vets will probably be open as well. In fact, I don't know if vets ever closed.
No, I don't think they did.
I would see that as essential work. But anyway, so things were just, pointing towards it. It's still dangerous, but like it's pointing towards things start, like you said, like it's the start of things returning to a sense of normality. So I thought I'm gonna head back to work, and it's been weird because I've had really conflicting emotions about going back to work, because like I am like overall very happy to be back at work. Like I am really enjoying it. The days are going so quick, and it's nice to be out of the house again, and I do really enjoy my job anyway, so it's great. But at the same time I almost feel guilty for going back to work, and even more guilty for enjoying it, because I know a lot of people can't go back to work, and a lot of people are stuck at home. Well, and I spent the last 3 weeks drilling it into my head that I have to be in home and I have to do this for not my safety as well, but for everybody's safety. Yeah. So then suddenly being on a building site where there's usually like I think a couple hundred guys working on this building site. It's not so much now.
Working at in York.
Yeah, it's the same place in York, but it's not so many people there now because a lot of people are still staying at home. But it's weird suddenly going back to work again.
Well, how often are you like interacting with people closely though?
All the time. All the time, because that's just the nature of the job. Like I have to, I go there in a car with 3 other people. Yeah. So that's literally at the start of the day. I get into work, and then pretty much from 7:30, I'm lifting stuff up, like pretty much all the time with other people, and I'm not like really close to them. I'm not like pressed against them. I'd like to be, but I just.
But like, are they within like coughing distance? Like, if they coughed, would you feel like liquid droplets touch you?
in some cases, in some cases, yeah, because we're building apartments, so sometimes we have to be in the apartments, and we're in corridors and stuff. So in some cases, yeah. In a lot of the cases, we're not, because we're outside doing a lot of lifting. But yeah, so it is still dangerous, but they are taking a lot of measures to stop the spread. Like there's sort of a one-way system now when you're not working on the site, when you're walking around the site and going to the canteen and stuff, and you have to be 2 meters apart in that one-way system. You have to only one person is allowed in the toilets at one time. You have to wait outside for them to come out, and then you're allowed in. You have to, wash. I mean, I just do anyway, but you just have to wash your hands for 20 seconds every time you've been in. The break times, everybody has their own allotted break times now, instead of everybody just going in at like 10 for the first break and then 1 for the dinner. Everybody has their own allotted ones, and you're only allowed 1 per table as well. And then after everybody from that time section has been and eaten, a cleaning lady will come in and she'll disinfect basically
honestly,
the entire room. That
sounds like a lot. That sounds like they're doing a lot of things. It doesn't sound very dangerous to me. And but surely, like, if anyone was like showing a lot of symptoms, they'd be like, no, you're not allowed to work. Like if someone
and they do that. They do that. Like if anybody shows any of the symptoms, they just go, right, go on.
Yeah.
2 weeks isolation.
Yeah.
So they are being really careful about it. I've been pretty good with sticking to the system. There was one time when I fucked up though, and I felt really bad about it. We were going down these stairs, and I went to walk past someone on the stairs, but not only was it just like anyone, it was one of the chief health and safety guys. Oh. So I went to go past him and I went, whoa, hold on, slow down there. And I went, oh fuck, sorry. Just because we're a force of habit, so I just went back up and let him cross. But it's just it's weird because I'm back at work, and it's just I feel like I'm slipping back into a routine of everything's fine and there's no danger. So
you also have to think about what else you're doing, because I think going to work with all those measures is not terribly bad. I mean, it's not amazing, is it? But it's not terribly bad. I wouldn't be worried knowing. I'm not worried knowing you're doing that. Like even though, like, not just thinking about like, are you gonna get it? I'm not even thinking that at all, to be honest. I'm thinking, are you gonna spread it to someone else? I don't think you are gonna. From doing that, and and there's been no more cases in York where you are working either, has there? So
no, there's not. It's effectively died out in York, I think. So that's good. So it's just, I think the only way it'd sort of come to work is if somebody in like their area, when they go home, gets it and then brings it back to work. So
yeah, and you are just going to work and home, aren't you? You're not going like, it's not like you're going out to meet your mates and things like that, which is the main problem. It's social gatherings are the main problem that people have. So
no, I don't do anything like that. I go to work and then I come home. That's it.
Yeah, no, definitely no Rona though. Yeah. Start coughing as soon as
I'm coughing up blood, but I am fine.
No, I'm fine.
Oh no, this is just lung cancer. It's fine.
Oh god. I've already had to use the joke sound effect like 3 or 4 times this podcast. It's going quite well.
Why?
I don't know. You said things like pedos and like, I don't know, stuff to do with something. I don't even remember.
Okay.
I think slowly throughout this podcast your camera's been like tilting more and more up, so you look more and more just like a head.
Is it? It's because I've got it plugged in as well, and it's at a weird angle, so it's charging. I forgot we were doing a podcast, and then it got down to 2% battery, and I was like, oh yeah.
Imagine like having a webcam and a PC or something to record and do a podcast.
Wow.
That'd be amazing, that, wouldn't it?
Well, I could be getting a fair amount of money from my tax returns,
The
couldn't I?
Return of the
So,
Jud. When does that come back? When does that come?
sometime.
So,
No, I'm not even gonna
sometime.
say. I'm not even gonna say sometime this year. Just sometime.
I
I don't
bet
know.
we can
I've
Google
got.
this. When is tax rebate? The
Well, I think
2020
it's just
UK?
whenever.
No, it's within a certain period. 5th of April.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that's
5th of
already gone
April.
past.
No, but it's not like that. That's not like the deadline. That's
when
when
you have to.
you
That's
can
when
start
you can
sending them
claim
in.
it. Have you claimed
Yeah,
your
yeah.
tax rebate?
No, I need what's called a P60 form, and when I've got that, that'll basically tell me the exact amount of money I've paid
It says
towards
the copies of
taxes.
those are issued on. This doesn't make much sense, really. I don't know. It's hard to tell. This
I
is the
think
thing.
I
Why
asked,
did
and
the
I,
teachers this in fucking
yeah, I know,
schools? Like,
but
this is so complicated.
yeah, I think I can just ask for that form. I think I can just email the a person at the
Well,
office
do
and
it
just say,
like
"Can
as
I
soon
have
as you
my
can.
P60 form?" Yeah, I am gonna.
Do it
I need
tomorrow.
that form. I'll probably do it tonight.
Yeah, do that. Do it. 'Cause-
I just need to get that form so I know how much tax I paid. Then I can put that on a form. I don't know what is going on with
Hi, Mini Rocket. Hi.
I don't know what's going on with Mini Rocket. I don't know what's going on with travel because I don't know if I'm meant to be claiming that or not. There's been some people have said different things.
Well, to me, it
so
sounds like
I
you
don't know.
shouldn't, but I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
But
but thing is, I am putting money towards my travel. I'm not. I don't own a car. I'm not doing the traveling, but I am putting money towards
yeah,
getting to work. So I don't know. Like,
yeah. But the thing is, you're paying that to someone. Like, you're just
yeah,
helping someone by gifting them something. It's not like you're
Yeah.
giving money to your work that you're not supposed to be giving them.
yeah. So at the end of it, I might only be able to claim whatever I have got back in
Mini
tax.
Mini Rocket
So-
says, "Can they call you Chris because they think you look like Chris?" Do-
Which Chris?
I don't know. They think you look like you should be called Chris.
I look like I should be called
Thoughts?
Chris.
What do you think about
It's my real name, Chris. What? Yeah, go on then. Call me Chris.
that? And you can call me Al. You can call me Al. That was a terrible joke. No, his real name's Judd
Yeah.
anyway, but it's not his real name. But whatever, who cares? His name is Judy Buddy 567. Do you remember that? Do you remember when he used to be called Judy Buddy 567?
I do, yeah. I remember when it was my PSN name, and for some reason my dad found that hilarious, and I still don't understand why. Like,
It was funny about how funny he found that. It's because obviously
Yeah,
he's a proper boomer. Apparently
Yeah.
you're Chris and I'm Bradley. Games Bradley.
James Bradley.
Yeah, because he's a proper boomer. He thought that like those
Yeah.
names were funny because he'd not been used to seeing them.
Because it's just a username, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like it's like if I found it hysterical that his email was like Robin Tap Work or something. Like that's a level of actual humour. Like Robin Tap Work, is that your full name? I didn't know Tap was your surname. I don't know Work was your surname. Like it's not funny, is it?
It's not. Boomers have such terrible humour, but it's
Yeah.
awful.
Did you ever know that? Because yours used to be me Foxy123, didn't it?
Yeah,
He would have shit himself laughing at that.
He would have, yeah. I still use that email for like some stuff, and I think
Yeah.
that if you go on my YouTube channel, I'm not sure. If you go on my YouTube channel, I think it's still in the URL somewhere because you can't really hide that sort of thing. But I remember when my intro like had me Foxy123 in this
Yeah.
terrible, awful font. I had this weird
Yeah.
Minecraft animation and all sorts.
Oh, you did. God, it was really bad. That the worst thing, and this is a fucking weird story. Is you got Nice Peter to do your
Oh, I know.
intro one
Well,
time.
I didn't.
didn't you?
The story behind that was we went to see Nice Peter, and if you don't know who he is for whatever reason, he's a guy who is one of the founding couple members who make epic rap battles of history.
I was just gonna say he's the epic rap. He's the Darth Vader versus Adolf Hitler guy.
Yeah, and he's the one who does Darth Vader's bit. So he's like a big YouTube guy, and we went to see him live when he was in the UK doing a tour, and he does this thing where if you know like a verse to one of the epic rap battles things, you can do the other verse like that he doesn't do, and they'll perform it on stage with a fan. And my mate Dan went up to do it and asked him if he would like do a little intro live on stage for my YouTube channel. And he asked him to introduce my channel as the Me Foxy 123 channel. And it's just my god,
it is really cringy. That's really bad. Nice Peter must have been like, oh, I really don't want to do that.
Yeah,
you can like even see it on the video. If you look up that video, you can see him be like, oh god, I don't want to do it.
But the thing is, if he would have just said like my actual name on it, I'd probably still be using it today, like because that's a really cool thing to have. But
yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Can you introduce him as Me Foxy?
I don't know if it's gonna
he should have gone. But... He should have gone. No. He did not want to think. Nice Peter would have just shot you down. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not.
He should have just refused. Oh my god, I can't believe that happened. Well, so because I was thinking that we've probably been doing like barely anything and might not have much to talk about this podcast, I looked up a wiki. I feel like if we're going to continue like this and we have multiple times, I might look up a random WikiHow article that we can try and like achieve on stream.
I was looking up a WikiHow article recently. I was trying to learn how to strip the plastic off of copper wires so I could then sell the copper wires.
With a WikiHow article?
Yeah, there is one. And it was quite informative, to be honest.
Nice one. Right, well, the one I'm looking up to see if we can achieve is how to annoy your brother.
Okay.
Because I thought that'd work quite well.
Mission accomplished.
So, first thing...
Press your finger into your dimple and act like a 14-year-old lesbian. Brilliant.
Well, the first thing it says is, I've got to mimic your voice. So, can you, like, say a sentence and I'll try and mimic your voice?
I don't want to. I don't want to be a part of this bit.
I don't want to be part of this bit.
That's quite funny. I don't mind that.
That's cool. I don't mind that. Have we done?
I thought you'd do my... I thought that you'd do my voice higher. So the fact that you sort of did
it's quite
deeper
low,
was...
actually, I think my voice is higher than yours. Yeah.
I don't know, because you hear your voice differently in your head, don't you, than how it actually sounds.
I think so, but like, because I've heard my voice so often on like when I'm editing videos
recordings
and
stuff,
like, it kind of syncs up a lot when you do that a lot.
Yeah.
So the next thing, there's quite a lot of steps to this, so we have to get through it quite quickly.
Alright, step one was a failure.
Right, okay.
So,
next one says, I've got to take bites off your plate, like eat some of your food when you've got some food. So next time you have a meal, can you like leave some of it on and then send it to me in the post, right?
I tell you what, that'd fucking do your nutting more than it'd do my nutting, because you hate sharing. You hate sharing, and you know how much of a nasty bastard I am. I lick all of my food.
Yeah, you're so gross when you eat, and you're genuinely the main reason why I hate sharing food. From how gross you were with eating food when you were a kid. Mini Rocket says you're a squeaker. You need a higher voice. So if you could,
I'm a squeaker.
Yeah. So if you could send me like a plate with like a half-eaten food on, so I can just eat some of it off in the post. We'll see if that annoys you or something.
We have to do this. This didn't account for brothers like not living together and also mass pandemic being on, did it?
No, I don't.
It didn't take those.
I also think it's accounting for them being about 13 too. So I'm not sure. So the next one is boss him around like you're his parent. So I'll pretend I'm your mum.
Oh God!
Judy!
Oh, it's already working. Yeah, Mum.
Can you make tea for your sister,
Mum,
Judy?
Mum, I'm on Overwatch. I'm on a ranked game.
I don't care. You need to. I'm
I can't pause it, Mum.
outside having a cig. I can't cook while having a cig. I can't do that. I can't even cook. Go do it. empty a bin?
My mum's a great cook.
How do you empty a bin? I don't know. That's kind of what I get.
She's like knocked it over and she's kicking it.
She's like just jamming her hands into it. Why ain't it emptying?
Oh man. What was it that she used to call me? She used to call me something all the time. Babby. Babby. She used to call me Babby all the time.
Okay, right. How did that work? Was that good? Sorry, my stream crashed. Can you repeat your reaction to my Christmas? No.
I had Vietnamese-esque flashbacks to that. That were awful.
So that one kind of worked then. I think that's
that one did. That one traumatized me more than anything.
Right. Okay.
I was 14 again then.
This next one, I'm gonna put this on the stream. I don't know if. Hold on. How do I do this? Judd, Cam, and Faceboarder. Hey, I did it. Right, I'm just going to show this on the stream. There's the next one is I've got to make stuff up, but the suggestion it gives you in the picture. Right, this is what I'm gonna use the suggestion of what to make, of something to make up that it gives me in the picture, and see if it annoys you. Right. Avocados, right? They're dinosaurs. Avocados are dinosaurs. That's
actually, this was made for a 13-year-old, weren't it? This is fucking stupid. Is the idea meant to be like... do you think the idea is that you, the tormentor, is meant to be tormenting me like a 9-year-old? Because I feel like only a 9-year-old would fall for that. Because like if you're 13 and you're told that, you just go, no, shut up, you stupid cunt. So it might even be for younger ages, but no, I mean, if they are, brilliant. We're eating dinosaurs. That's awesome. Right. That doesn't annoy me in the slightest.
Well, I think that's hilarious. I feel like this article might be annoying you, but I don't think the steps that it's giving me to annoy you are working.
No.
So next, I've got to embarrass you in front of your friends.
What friends, mate? You're gonna have a hard time with that one.
Like, I don't think that's even possible, to be honest. Like,
I feel like I'd just do that anyway. I think my friends are embarrassed to just be around me.
We kind of just, although it does say I can't read very well, so I'm literally just reading the titles of each step. But I can make out the words nuclear warfare in the description of this. I don't know what that is.
How to annoy your brother, nuclear Armageddon.
That would annoy you quite a bit, though, I think.
I would actually be angry at that.
Okay.
Jordan, I found out the perfect way to annoy you. How, Jake? Fucking hell, Jake.
Right, next step. Right, I'm going to start the next step. And in 3, 2, 1...
Oh no, this is not good podcast material. It works. I'm annoyed. Please stop. This was a good podcast and now you're just quiet. And also, I don't know if my internet's out or not, so stop.
For all the people who are listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, the next step was use the silent treatment, which, I think that all makes sense now. Speaking of listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, you can get it on Spotify and all good streaming platforms, or anywhere, really, that does a podcast, as well as YouTube at the Games Badly YouTube channel. It's changed, Judd. We've migrated podcasts to the Games Badly YouTube channel, in case we ever want to do any sort of YouTube-only content. So, the podcasts are over there now. The links are still in the description for that sort of thing, I think. But yeah, just search for it on YouTube. Search for Podcasts Are Badly on YouTube and things like that, as well as merch and all sorts of stuff like that.
Oh, go on.
And Judd, why don't you tell them about merch? Why don't we tell them? You should tell them, Judd, about. Mini Rocket wants you to scream, so just do that a minute.
I'm not gonna do that. My nan's in literally the next room. She'll think something's actually happened.
Why don't you shout for your nan? Why don't you scream, Nan, quick! And then she comes in, and then you go, you're right.
I'm not having my grandmother on the podcast. I'm not having her likeness out there on the internet.
You get banned from.
Right, my grandmother is a fairy sleep.
Sleepy.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
Why don't you tell everyone on the podcast about how you can get this podcast live at twitch.tv/gamesbadly, as well as watch us play games and things like that quite regularly. Well, I say us, I mean me really, until you actually buy a PC. There's that. There's all sorts in the description. So on to the next stage.
Okay.
What the fuck is this one? So the next stage, it says, is try to be his friend too. But this one's for it says this one's for a younger brother to an older brother. So like, if the younger brother tries to be the older brother's friend, that'll annoy him. So try and be my friend, and let's see if it annoys me.
Hey Jake, I've been getting really into Apex recently. I think I'm gonna, I think we should get on some games together. I think we should get on some Apex games. I think we'll get a lot of victory royales. And then we can do the.
This
we
is
can
trying to
do
be
the
a
dances.
teammate, Judd. I don't understand how friends work. I think that's the main problem.
I also do not understand how friends work. Yeah.
This is my big autism.
Try and be my friend. I would like to get to know you on a professional level.
Oh, now I'm annoyed. Okay, I'm being asked to do a scream, so prepare your ears. Because I'm gonna scream right into this microphone. I'm gonna do like one of those death metal screamo screams. I'm gonna do my best attempt at that. Ready?
Go on then.
Was that a good screamo scream? Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that the people who are listening to the audio only
oh my
version
god!
enjoy
This
that.
works perfectly. What? The next stage is make annoying noises.
What a segue!
That's the next step that it asks for. Did it annoy you?
Not really.
Oh. Okay. Well, next one. I need to hide your stuff. So, could you like?
Yeah.
Hide
my stuff from myself.
Yeah. Can you like get your phone, because that's your stuff, and like hide it somewhere?
To be honest, I do that all the time anyway. Like,
yeah,
I'll
just
put
hide your
something
phone
down
on that shelf up there, like behind something a minute. Right. Okay, you've hidden it now. If you're watching the video version, you
hold on, wait. No, where the fuck have I put my phone? No, I just had it. Where the fuck? Where's it gone? Man, bring my phone.
Nice. That was good acting. I liked that. Secret assignment. Don't. Oh shit. No, I'm not gonna do that, Minirocket. I'm sorry. I accidentally already read it out. He wanted me to scream at some random point, but then I'd already read it halfway through.
Oh.
Right. Okay. Shut off the internet when he's on it. So could you like go and turn off your router?
Because my internet would go down and stay down. Like it would not be ready for like another week.
The next one is try to snoop on him. So. What I'll do is I'm gonna like Instagram stalk you and show your Instagram to the world. So we'll do that.
I mean, that's fine. All my Instagram is like me having barbecues. That's it.
So this is Judd's Instagram for the video version. We'll start with a photo that he didn't take, there's a photo of Judd sat on someone else's amp holding a guitar stop. But it looks cool, but he don't even play any.
I love that picture. That is the only picture of me that I like.
And then
I don't like any pictures that I'm in.
We've got a short video of him using a disposable barbecue, claiming to be the barbecue master. When Judd likes all of his food fucking plain, he doesn't have anything on them at all. You cannot comment on liking food. Hold on, let me just fart into this microphone. There we go. So there's that. There's a picture, and then next there's a picture, really bad quality of Judd being bald. And
I just shaved my head, and I just thought I'll just take a picture of that. I don't do the Instagrams and the Snapchats like you with your fucking lesbian haircut. And
then there's more like barbecue. You have upgraded the barbecue, and we've got.
I made my granddad go out and buy like a really nice bar. Well, it's not really nice. It's like
does
30
look quite
quid,
nice actually.
I built that barbecue. I built it myself. So.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
This doesn't annoy me. This.
Yeah, we have.
I just all that you've told the world is that I have a bald head. I have a nice looking picture of myself, and I like barbecue.
Well, I didn't say it was nice. Oh wait, you did the other one. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. No,
But
yeah.
yeah, I know. To be honest, and that barbecue's like genuinely inspired me to have a barbecue, because we've actually,
Yeah.
rather than just having disposable ones, we've ordered one like that as well.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have some barbecues and stuff. So I love a good barbecue. That's what I'm looking forward to doing most.
It's my
when this is all over.
It's my Sunday thing. It's my Sunday thing now. I'll just barbecue some stuff and I'll have some beers.
Yeah.
I'll just relax. It's great, and the weather has been amazing for it as well.
Yeah. It's definitely something that I'm wanting to do when we're allowed to all meet up again. I want to have a barbecue. Essentially, we like me and Jasmine, Cal and his girlfriend, and you essentially. I don't really know
And
anyone
my
else I'd
girlfriend.
be interested. Yeah, and your girlfriend, if you can.
If I can find her.
Sorry, I'm trying to say it
What?
without laughing, but if you can. If you can get one. that was really mean, sorry. I'm sorry. Right, so next stage is I have to wake you up really early.
I tell you what, if in this lockdown you wake me up earlier than I already get up, I will be very fucking annoyed. I get up at 6 every morning to get to work. So if you somehow
early,
in this lockdown,
so
yeah,
you're kind of doing that, and is it annoying you?
I mean, I get a bit tired and groggy, but you have to wake me up. So,
So right, okay. How about this then? I'll send you a recorded message of me being like an alarm, and I'll do you an alarm thing. Yeah, and then set that as your alarm tone.
No, because I'm gonna love that. I love that. I'll always use that as my alarm.
Shall I send you a recording of me just screaming to wake you up?
No, don't.
The pain, the suffering. Please make it stop.
I will forget that's my alarm one time at like a public gathering. Like, I'm just putting this alarm on for the chips. It's just you screaming.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I have to ease off sometimes. I don't know what that means.
Is that just a tip? Is that like, okay, fun is fun, but don't actually make you want to
it's
slit your
literally
neck,
just
slit
like
your
saying,
throat.
don't try and annoy him all the time.
Yeah.
Friendly sitcom music plays.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the article. So all in all, how annoyed did you get by that whole process?
The only thing that came sort of close to annoying me was the silent treatment thing, and that wasn't really me being annoyed, more just like me being genuinely concerned because I didn't know if my internet had gone down or not. I didn't know if I needed to like sort something out.
I honestly thought that you would think that straight away and like end the call and try and restart it, which I would have thought would be equally as funny, to be honest.
That would have been really funny, yeah.
So that's kind of my other thought with it. Games, Judd. This is a games Twitch channel, and games are quite badly.
They are badly, yeah.
as we often say. And sometimes apparently games are quite Bradley. I don't know what that means.
Games are Bradley.
Games are Bradley sometimes.
Only sometimes though, not all the time.
Mini Rocket wants potatoes. Don't know what that means. Is that some sort of euphemism that we're gonna get banned for? Maybe. So I've been looking for.
I could have been quite mean. Then I'm not gonna be that mean.
Was it to do with like someone being a vegetable type of joke?
No. I just was gonna be actually quite not even trying to be funny, just being nasty.
So have you finished The Witcher, didn't you? But you're doing the expansions.
Yeah, and I think I'm nearing the end of the second DLC story, but there's still loads to do. There's like loads of side quests and stuff.
See,
and
I don't know.
On top of all this stuff, there's not just like one ending either. There's like several different endings.
Oh, right. That seems like it's not taken quite as long as I thought it would, like with how daunting it feels. So there's that's kind of promising, because the reason I ask is I've finished Fallen Order, Star Wars Fallen Order, and it was finished really quite quick. As in, I booted it up and realised that none of my controllers work properly, and one of them is at the point where it's a PS4 controller, and none of the arrow buttons work on it, and
Yeah.
L2 doesn't work. The left bumper doesn't work. That's a
Okay.
significant amount of buttons, one of which
Yeah.
is block. So
Yeah.
I
It's also blocking Witcher, so
yeah, I had to reassign the block button to R3, but R3 is the interact button. So basically,
Okay.
what I've been doing is like playing mostly and doing all the combat on the controller. But if I ever have to interact with something, I'll just press E on my keyboard.
okay.
And then if I have to like use the droid for something and heal, that's Q and R. Which so basically stuff where it doesn't, you don't need to be able to do it quick in the moment. I just pressed on the keyboard, which has kind of been a really weird way of playing, but it's not been too bad. And to put it in perspective of how short that game actually ended up being, I tried to explore every route I could while it was happening before the end of the
Yeah.
main story, and which means that I didn't, like, when I unlocked a new way to go down like certain paths I couldn't before, I didn't use that on every planet. I just sort of did it when I could do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I could have, done more. I could have made it last a bit longer if I wanted, but and I ordered a controller that worked, thinking, right, I'll just make do with this for now, and then I'm guessing like at least half of it I'll be able to play properly with a working controller. No, the working controller came the day after I finished it, so now I've kind of got this controller that works, but like, go for it, 100
Awesome.
emojis. So yeah, I was kind of looking for another game that was like that, because I really enjoyed that sort of story experience again.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it's kind of weird because I've got to the point where any game that's kind of shootery, I feel like I have to play with keyboard and mouse, because I'm so used to playing Apex with keyboard and mouse now that playing a shooter with a controller feels weird. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel enjoyable. So, and a lot of interesting games to me, because I've been playing shooters so much, are shooters. So I thought about getting Dead Space, because that was really fun. But
Dead Space is awesome. That's
I
one of
don't
my
know
favorite
if I would
games ever.
use controller for it, is the thing. And I really want to. I'm not just trying to make use of this controller because I bought it. I want to, because it feels more relaxing to sit back with a controller to me.
Yeah, no, I've always said that. I've always said that, like, if I'm playing like a story game or something, I want to be relaxed, leaning back with a controller. But if I'm wanting to get I want to be super competitive and activate full gamer mode, then it's keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. It's Mini Rockets asking us to play Twitch Sings. Have you seen Twitch Sings?
I haven't, no.
It's basically like this karaoke thing that you can do on Twitch, but you can't really do. We wouldn't be able to do that until quarantine's over, because we'd have to be in the same place. So
we could do like a drunk stream where we do that though.
yeah, like when it's all over we can, but like we'd have to literally be in the same room. Like technicality wise, it wouldn't work otherwise.
I
would
still think
love
one
to
of
do
the
that.
best streams. I still think one of the best streams that we did was when we did the one where we were touring Retrodome. I think that was one of the best
Yeah, that was
streams.
good. People weren't really interested in that. I don't think we set it up very well. You can pre-record and duet with pre-recordings. I know, but it just won't work. It wouldn't work particularly great. But it's
That's
something
just
we definitely would
TikTok
do
at that point.
in the future.
I'm not gonna prance around my room and like basically be a TikTok girl. I'm just not gonna do that.
You're
Like
so
if I do
grumpy.
if I do that in a sense of that, then I'm going to be with you in person and I'm going to be drunk as well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it
that's the
sober.
idea. But so, do you think it's worth getting The Witcher for that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just worth getting The Witcher in general. I just think that the story and everything is just so captivating.
I'm not
Honestly,
particularly
I
feeling
can't
it. I just
recommend
feel
that
like
game enough.
it's one of those where I just don't feel like getting it and playing it. But a lot of the time when that's happened, it's actually been really good. So they've spammed a bunch of Twitch Sings emojis.
I thought like that for ages because it's such a big thing, and also it's. I mean, I was always going to get The Witcher free if I was going to get any of them. So it's like
Well,
I'm
that's a
jumping
question
into.
I have, because I know it's the third one. does the story lead on at all? Like, is there like...
It does. Like, it is a continuation from 1 and 2.
See, I'm out then.
There's
That's
a lot of
already,
returning characters.
Like, I was already on the edge, and knowing that, because I'm such a big story guy, that's just too...
Yeah.
You know, it's too much.
But the thing is, it does a really good job of explaining what's going on. It's not like cramming stuff down your throat either. It does a good job of explaining it. Like, there's a little thing at the beginning, you just go, oh, okay. And then you're in, and it's.
I don't know. I don't like that. I feel like, because I would know that that's like a diminished experience. If that makes sense. Like, I would know that experience isn't as good as if you've played through the other games, and I don't know. I feel like I would rather put my time and money on playing games into one where I can have the full, as good experience as I can. Cause
Don't play Witcher 1 and 2 then. Don't do it.
Well, they're too old, and I don't want to play them at all.
Yeah.
So...
And I'm pretty sure that, from what I've heard, the gameplay wasn't very good in the first one, but the story was great. And in the second one, the gameplay was good, but the story was shit. Yeah. So there you go.
There's plenty of games that I've got Soul Calibur 6, for example. Because every so often I like to dip back into Soul Calibur and because every so often I'll feel like I kind of feel like playing a fighting game, and Soul Calibur's kind of the one that I go for because it's the
one you're good at,
and we grew up with it. Yeah, it's the one I'm best at as well, I suppose. Yeah. I'm not good at it, like, but it's the one I'm best at out of them. The only other one I get is Injustice, and I would get that if there was a third one of those. But again, I kind of play them for the story still. I play them for the story mode. I don't really play multiplayer. And, oh my god, the story mode on Soul Calibur 6, fuck me, it's awful. It's so shit. Like, there's kind of two. There's one where, like, it's the create your own character one, and there's one where it's like, you know, how we played it in Soul Calibur 2, where you pick a character and you know, play as them. Bear in mind, I was still playing it. I play fighting games on controller, and I was playing on a fucked up controller as well.
Yeah.
Where the one I was using, it wasn't that it was broken in any way. It's that because it was an aftermarket PS4 one, it didn't really play very well with my PC. So all the buttons were moved round. They were all working. They were all just in different places. And it was fine, but I don't know. I was trying to get through the create your own character story, and fucking hell, it was trash. There's no voice acting, no cutscenes, no nothing. It's all just text. It was like a goddamn mobile game. And you still do fights in it, but it was just crap.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Oh, shit.
I get the impression that the other type of story mode as well wouldn't be much better. And it was bullshit as well. And I don't know why I didn't expect this, because it does it in Soul Calibur 2 as well. In the story mode, it adds these like extra challenges, but they're almost a bit random, and every so often, they're stupid hard for no reason. It's like, one of them might be, you take twice as much damage as your enemy, only horizontal attacks do damage to them, and you have to finish them with an ultimate move.
Yeah.
And also they're a character that completely, like, works well against your character, and or something stupid like, oh, and you constantly lose health slowly. It was like they'll just do that to you at some points, and I hate that. I want to go into an even fight like this. I get the appeal for that. I get that some people like the challenge, but it should definitely be optional. If you set that to the easiest difficulty, it should all be just an easy, simple fight. It's ridiculous. So there's that, and also the other game that was a contender for me was Batman Arkham Origins, because I have played the first two. I played Arkham Asylum and City, and I did quite like them. I wouldn't say they're some of my favourite games ever, but I did like them a lot, enough to think I could play all of this series, I think. But the thing is, Arkham Origins is definitely the worst one I've played so far.
I love all of them. I really do love all of them. Origins is... I don't know. I'd say maybe it is the worst one, but thing is, saying the worst one, I still think it's a good game. I really enjoy that game.
Put it this way: when I already thought the first two were like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7, because they're better than like your average game, and enough to make me want to buy them and play them. But they weren't anything special to me. So, and then this one's worse than those. It's like, I've tried to play it from the beginning twice already, and I just can't. My main problem is, right, it's not very good at sort of telling you what you're supposed to be doing a lot of the time. There's a certain...
What, Origins?
Yeah. Well, all of them, really.
I thought that the first two were fine with telling you how to do that. I can't really remember Origins, but
these are the sort of problems I have with all of the Arkham games I've played, and I've played 3 of them at this point. So, they're not great at telling you where you're supposed to be going and what you're supposed to be doing. They're not great at sort of like helping you a bit if you need it. Which
are you just a bit of a retard though?
No, it's like with
you are a bit.
It's not. It's like I just want a waypoint on a map. It's not much to ask for, is it? And they don't really do that.
They usually they do that, don't they?
Not very consistently. And listen, this is what I'm trying to get across. I'm not saying that they're always bad at it. It's just they're not really as good as they could be. Like there's points where it's like I don't really know what I'm doing here, and that's not great. It's all right, but it's not. And then the other thing is, I don't like how it feels. I don't like how Batman feels. It feels like really chunky and like clunky, and I know that it's like meant to be like quick moves, and so that you can kind of see a move. You kind of see a move and like almost like the pose of after that move. But I get that people can like that. It's not. I'm not saying it is a bad thing, but I don't like it.
I think what the idea was, or what at least they were trying to go for, is to try and make it feel like his punches had real weight behind them. So everything just felt powerful, and you just felt, well, fucking strong ass.
It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like he's fat, if anything. It feels like he's lumbering, and when he glides and things like that, moving through the map is awkward. It's not easy to move through the map, and he's climbing and everything. It feels kind of clunky to me, and I don't like it. And if you compare it to Spider-Man, for example, Spider-Man's punches feel like they've got weight. I mean, they're not meant to feel like massive, but he feels proper agile, and movement just feels amazing in that game. Whereas on Batman, it just feels clunky as fuck. And I don't know. Even if I compare it to not another superhero game that's excellent, I compare it to the Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games, and Assassin's Creed, 2 games that are valid to compare it to, with the open world movement style and similar-ish combat as well. Those games, to move in those games feels way better, I think, than it does in Batman.
I didn't like Shadow of Mordor with how you moved in that. I didn't like it. I think he.
And this is what I mean.
I think he felt quite spastic and hard to control.
It is a bit more of like a personal preference thing on the movement thing, but it still affects my experience, and that's why I'm not really into it. And the story is sort of the main appeal for me. And in the first 2 games, I like it. I like the story, and it was interesting, and it was enough for me to overlook the the sort of smaller things that I didn't really like that much with the game. So it was enough for that. But it still did feel a bit too sort of over the top comic-y to me, a bit like just a little bit too much sixes.
It's almost like it's a game based off of comic books.
No, it's not. That's not the right way to put it. I mean, like fucking what is it? Like the original Batman TV show, how sort of goofy and campy that was. It's for me personally, it was a little too much in that direction, a little too sort of like just over the top. So just a little bit, but not so much that I didn't enjoy the story. Like I say, I still did really enjoy it. But when it comes to Origins, the story's not really quite interesting enough to keep me there, despite those smaller things that I don't like in it. So that's
the story's definitely the weakest out of all of them. I don't know which my favourite would probably be.
I think the big reason I don't want to play it is because it's hard to care, because it's a prequel as well. I think prequels are very hard to pull off.
Yeah.
Because there's not really any stakes. in a prequel. Like, I know Batman's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I think probably out of all of them, my favourite is probably Arkham City.
Yeah.
I think it's Arkham City. Yeah. Arkham Knight is probably second, then the first one, and then Origins. So Origins is definitely the weakest out of all of them.
Arkham Asylum for me was more consistently entertaining. I think Arkham City was a tiny bit better, but it lulled once, twice. And I do think that Arkham Knight looks like it could be the most interesting story to me. Oh wait, is there another one? There's Arkham Origins. What's after Arkham Origins?
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Games. Is there another one after that?
Not yet. There hasn't been. They've talked about it, but not yet.
Is it the Return to Arkham one? What's that?
No, Return to Arkham is like, I think it's like a handheld one. It's like a handheld port, or it's for like Wii or something. It's on Xbox One.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like a Telltale thing.
No, Telltale. The Telltale games are Batman: The Enemy Within, and I think there's another one that's just called Batman: The Telltale Series. So Return to Arkham might be like a remaster or something. I don't know, but it does go Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, Arkham Knight.
So basically, what I'm kind of getting to is, what sort of more relaxing story-based game do you think I could go for? Because I'm not opposed to going for something like, obviously, so an example, Borderlands 3. I've not that because I've played it, but I'm not opposed to something like that where I wouldn't use a controller, I would use keyboard and mouse. Like, I'm thinking like The Outer Worlds or something, maybe?
I still have not I bought The Outer Worlds, and I was playing it when my computer shit itself. I say shit itself, I mean when I accidentally murdered my PC. But I was in the process of playing it. But what I've heard is that the game is very, very, like, quick. Like, there's not a lot there. And it's also not very memorable. I stopped playing that game because my PC shit itself. I don't know how long ago. Is it a year since I've not had a PC? How long has it been?
Hell, I don't know. I don't think it's a year.
But it's been ages anyway. It's been months at least, and I've just not heard anything else about it. I've remained spoiler free from that game simply because no one's talking about it. Yeah. So it just seems like it's not got a lot to it. When I was playing it, I was enjoying it. It's Obsidian, so it's like it's made by the gays. It's made by gays. Everybody, it's made by gays. It's made by the guys who made one of my favorite ever games in the history of ever, Fallout New Vegas. So I do love the storytelling and the humor to it. There are some pretty funny bits in Outer Worlds, and there's some moments in the dialogue where you just go, wow, okay. So it is still all right, but just I don't think it's anything to write home about. So
right, okay.
You can definitely just relax and play the Outer Worlds.
There's some stuff as well, like I got Bulletstorm, because obviously I remember that game, and we had some right fun with that game. But it doesn't really, the PC port, playing it on, because it's a shooter, so I want to play it on keyboard and mouse, doesn't work right, really. So you have to completely lower the DPI on your mouse for it, and then make the sensitivity really, really low. Otherwise, it goes everywhere. Like, the sensitivity is massively high on keyboard and mouse. And also, they don't do it properly. So, on a shooter, when you aim down sights, it lowers your sensitivity automatically, doesn't it, while you aim down sights?
Yeah.
So if your sensitivity is set at, like, 3, for example, you might aim down sight, and it might be 1.5.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't do that in Bulletstorm. It's the exact same. So you go even faster while you're aimed down sight. It feels like... So it just doesn't work right. So I can't really play it. Having said that, I think the story is way shorter than we remembered, because I think I've got through like 2/3 of it by playing like 2 missions.
It's a very simple story as well. It's very there's no bullshit to it really.
But
it's just
fun.
it's
like,
just
that's not a bad thing. Like, it's a simple, you know what's going to happen, but it's still fun, and like the characters are interesting to go along that story with. Another thing that I've been thinking is Titanfall, because I know the people who make Apex made Titanfall, and I thought, well, I could maybe just play through the campaigns of those. Because they're obviously really cheap at the minute. Titanfall's like a $5. Titanfall 2's like, I'm just looking now, £7.78. But I think I heard that Titanfall 1 doesn't really have a story mode.
I don't know. All I've only ever heard good stuff about both the Titanfall games. I've never heard anything bad about either of them. So
yeah, I might think about that. But I don't. Even if it is £5, I don't really want to spend a fiver on. I've just looked it up. It says there's kind of a story mode in Titanfall 1, but it's a bit weird, and it doesn't actually have like characters to it. Really, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it might just be like 8 or so missions, and I don't know about that. It might be worth doing if it's really cheap, but I want something to sort of get a bit stuck into. Something like a new Far Cry game would be perfect. Far Cry 5 was such a disappointment.
Why not Far Cry Primal?
Well, what's the other one that's like... Is it Bloodlines or something? Far Cry Bloodlines? You know, the latest one that came out.
Oh yeah, one came out like
it's like
after
a sequel
5
to
and...
Far Cry 5 in the same, because normally they don't do in the so there's Far Cry 5. There was a DLC for that called Far Cry 5 Dead Living, which looks like just zombies mode, to be honest. Dead Living zombies, and then Far Cry New Dawn was like supposed to be a fully new game, but not really. Like, it wasn't completely new because it used everything from the last game, but like maybe different characters or something.
Yeah,
I think it's such a disappointment. The setting for Far Cry 5 could have been so cool. The trailers for it looked really cool, and they just fucked it. It was just crap.
Yeah, I know, but I think I've said this before on this podcast. I'm sure I have, but I have a thing for religious fanaticism in like media. I think it's one of the coolest things that media can tackle, like in anything. So when I found out that Far Cry 5 was the bad guys were going to be a religious crazy cult in America, I was like, this is going to be fucking awesome, and I can't wait. And then it just wasn't. So
Minrock says Titanfall campaign in the first game is online matches of Capture the Flag, TDM, and stuff like that. So it's kind of like story but online, which makes sense. That's kind of what Respawn does with Apex as well. Not missions like you have a voice come... Okay, Titanfall 2 has an actual story, so maybe I could just get Titanfall 2 if the story starts there. I don't know, I'll think about it. It's whenever something's like awkward like that, it turns me off quite quickly. Like, I just want to... That's why I quite liked, despite it not being perfect and it could have been a bit more fleshed out, that Star Wars game I really enjoyed, because I just want to just go, story game, bye. There we go, good. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why Spider-Man is perfect. It's such a perfect story game. There's loads of content to it. There's like obviously a limit. You do fight the same enemies pretty much all the time, but that's the nature of those sorts of games. But there's loads of story to it. The DLCs are all really cool DLCs, which have it's almost like adding a whole new game for each DLC. And it's just a great game, and I want a simple, easy story package. Far Cry New Dawn is £14, which is cheaper than Far Cry 5 at the minute, and it makes me wonder whether you need Far Cry 5 to play New Dawn.
I don't know. I wonder how much Far Cry 3 is, and Far Cry 4 as well was pretty good.
Well, on PC, Far Cry 4 is $8. I'm looking on CD keys. And Far Cry 3 is £6.50. Those are
those games still. Those games still hold up.
I think personally, Far Cry 4 is the best one.
I still don't know who I prefer between Farce and Pagan Min though.
if you have to pick between those, that's a different debate. But I think that the way the story's set out in 4 is better than 3. Like, tacking on that Hoyt thing at the end just felt a bit weird to me.
Yeah.
The big bad guy was always Vars, really. And then just because it's a bit more modern and kind of looks a bit nicer, Far Cry 4, while the gameplay is all at least as good, if not better, I think Far Cry 4 is just like that one step better. If Far Cry 3 is an 8, Far Cry 4 is a 9.
Yeah.
But Far Cry 5 is a 3.
That's one of the games that I didn't fully 100% it, but I think I did like 95% of the content on the Far Cry 4.
Says, forget Titanfall 1, it's bad, unpopulated, and makes no sense. Yeah, I wouldn't play it for multiplayer. I wouldn't even play Titanfall 2 for multiplayer. Titanfall 2 is amazing, it's a new story, and you don't need Titanfall 1. I might get it then, because it's really cheap. It's like £7. Far Cry New Dawn is a completely different story. The only thing that's similar is Eden is a character, but not an enemy. It's a completely different story. So, but my main question is, does it work in the same way like as Far Cry 5 story did? Because the Far Cry 5 story was just stupid. Everything about that game was just stupid and annoying. And
then the apocalypse happens. Why?
And he was right all along. Oh, so now they've just introduced supernatural things are actually true in the Far Cry universe, then, yeah.
Well, the thing is, what actually happens there is, and it's not explained very well.
It's easier to play New Dawn, apparently. I might give it a try if I'm bored.
The whole thing with Joseph Seed going off is happening with him basically predicting that the end of the world is coming. Something completely separate to that story is that if you just happen to be driving around in a car during the game and you are listening to the radio, now and again a guy will talk about mounting tensions between Russia and the United States. So the end of the world happening is a completely separate event to what Joseph Seed was talking about. It's just timing. Yeah, he's been. Yeah, he listened to the radio and went, "Fucking hell, it's going to be end of the world." Yeah. Well, might as well capitalise.
That makes me think, why was he all like weird about it like that, and why did no one else listen to the radio?
Yeah,
come on.
But the thing is, you are playing a cop as well, so do you not think you'd be driving around, hear that radio in at the station, go, "Hey, what's happening?" Like, should we not be dealing with this guy at the moment and like be hiding?
And in every other Far Cry game, or I've only played Far Cry 3, and I didn't play 1 and 2. I did play 2, and that was trash as well. I couldn't get past the first mission on 2. I think that was worse than 5, to be fair. At least I completed 5. I completed 5 as like a vendetta. I was like, this game's so bad, and I would play all of it to just see if there's some sort of scrap of redemption. And there wasn't. The ending was stupid as well. So I don't know. It's a bad game, and but one of the things that I just found, I don't understand how they got it so wrong, because normally they get villains very, very right in this series. There needs to be some sort of menace, some sort of stakes or something. I was not scared of anyone in Joseph Seed's cult at all. They're all massive little bitches. They're not scary in any way. He just fucking cries at you when something. He will literally like.
It's when because you get these whenever, because you can systematically cut off the heads of his family, of his cult, in whatever order you want, and every time that you kill one of the big bad guys, you'll get this sort of little cutscene of Joseph Seed sort of like giving a sermon and saying about how they've lost one of the faithful and how they're going to rise above it. When you eventually do kill everyone who organises that cult who isn't Joseph Seed, you get another one, and he's really crying about it, and it really sobbing, and I thought, oh, well, this is a bit compelling, this. He's actually getting into it. But then a fat, snot rocket comes out of his mouth, out of his nose.
I think they were aiming for it being, different,
realistic,
and emotional,
and realistic,
I don't know,
he's just
scary in a different way.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Like, I don't know. That it's all well and good to like aim for scary in a different way, but it still has to be like, well, not scary. I think menacing is a better word. It still has to be menacing. Then it can't. Just...
I was gonna say the thing is that Joseph Seed. No, I was gonna say the whole cult, but not the entire cult is like this. But Joseph Seed mainly is quite. He wants you on his side. Like he's not like Fars, who's like he just wants to kill you and he likes fucking with you. Joseph Seed wants you as part of the team basically. Yeah. And but that's where it fails to be scary.
The problem is that's not necessarily a bad thing, because when you can do that right. Because if you think about the original Star Wars, Darth Vader's always trying to tempt, and the Emperor, they're trying to tempt Luke. They want him on their side, and they're still scary, they're still menacing. They're like,
Thing is as well, Pagan Min does that.
Yeah,
Pagan Min
do that.
Never really actually has anything bad to say to you. You get off the bus at the start of Pagan Min, he sees you, and the first thing he does is give you a hug and welcomes you home. And that's the first thing.
Having a weird, unpredictable nature is the thing that's scary about him. It's not just someone being scary and weird. The problem with Far Cry 5 is there's no extra elements to make him menacing. He's just fucking weird and shit. And not scary at all. He's not really got, like, anything going for him that makes me think, oh, this guy's going to be tough to handle. Like, there isn't anything. So it's like, I feel like I don't understand why that police... They know exactly where he is as well. Why did that policeman just go, pfft? Why didn't you just kill him? Why didn't you just go and do that? You saw all the evidence of stuff that he'd done to warrant that. So, like, it's not like he was trying to think, oh, I must uphold the law or something. Like, there was plenty of evidence to just go and shoot the fucker. They should have brought the army in. Like, honestly, why didn't they just call the army?
It's weird because you get there
and you say Peppa Pig's more menacing than Joseph Seed. Well, I mean, there's been some weird creepypastas and such.
No, George, that's not fair. You've got to let me play with the ball.
I'm waiting for that menacing scene of Peppa Pig going,
my brother is dead!
Yeah,
Snot comes out of a smell.
I do think, though, I am ready for a new Far Cry game. Like, I think I'm at the point, because so little people give a shit about New Dawn, it seems. I think the world is ready for a new Far Cry game. It's because I think they need to release games when people are ready. Like, if they announce, we're releasing Borderlands 4 next week. No, don't do that. That's way too soon. We're not ready yet. We need to sit on Borderlands 3 for, like, at least another few years. And then, but Far Cry, I think one could come out, a new, like, full Far Cry game could come out every 2 to 3 years, I think. I think that's an appropriate amount of time. I'm ready for a new... what sort of game franchises are you ready for sequels in? Because currently I'm ready for a new Watch Dogs, a new Far Cry. I know they're both Ubisoft titles, but... what else? I'd like a new Prince of Persia, personally, but I don't think that's very necessary.
I can't really think of one, to be honest. There's not been one. It's weird because, like, it used to be that all the time when you'd think of that and you'd have nothing to think about, you'd go, Half-Life. There hasn't been a Half-Life game, and then there has been one. And from what I've seen, it's really fucking good. Yeah. I don't have any VR stuff, but everything I've seen about, like, every time I've seen somebody play it or seen any features from it, it looks fucking awesome. Even the humor's good in it. The Combine in it are really fucking funny. Yeah. like there's a bit in it where there's these two fucking Combine soldiers, and one of them they're like looking at something. I'm not sure what it is. And one of the guys like reporting back into HQ, which I think they call it Overwatch. And he's just like, yes, Overwatch, we're looking at it now. And this other guy's just fucking kicking it. And this guy looks at him and goes, yeah, he's kicking it right now. And there's like a bit of silence. He just looks back at him and goes, Overwatch says, stop kicking it. And he like stops and then he goes, Overwatch, you stop kicking it. Like, it's just really fucking funny. I think that's a good game. I'm gonna have to, because I'll not be able to play it because I'm not gonna go out of my way to buy a VR set. So I'll just have to watch a playthrough.
Getting a PC that that can do that sort of thing as well is hard. I think it'd be better to get on PS4 and get a PSVR that is going to work right and things. So
I won't want to do it anyway. I was never super into the whole VR thing. The only time I was ever really into VR was when I was playing Super Hot at a friend's house. But bear in mind, I was also very, very stoned. So it was, I could have been staring at a cat for 3 hours, and I would have found it pretty interesting.
So I've got up my my list of I'm trying to form a list basically to of games that I could be interested in. To try and to make a decision. So I have a list on Amazon of games that I want as well. I think I want something on PC, and the only thing I've got on my list for PC is Doom Eternal, and that's not been out long enough for me really yet. I like to let games sit for a while and then get them cheaper because it's like 50 quid at the minute, and it's the type of game where I don't need to play that right now. It's not like a Borderlands level game where I pre-order it and I want to play it like as soon as I've downloaded it. It's a game where I'm like, I'm going to really enjoy it, and I know I will, but I'm happy to let that just go down in price a bit.
It was for me, to be honest, just because I love the story and the idea behind Doom so much, and I think I love the gameplay so much. So yeah, for me it was just I had to get Doom Eternal the second it came out.
The other games I've got, a couple of them are not out yet. So there's the Avengers game, and there's the new Watch Dogs game that's going to come out, Watch Dogs Legion, which looks weird. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it.
It does look weird.
I've got a bunch of Switch games as well. So I've got Mortal Kombat 11. I'm going to remove that, honestly. I'm not actually that bothered. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have on the Switch. There's Breath of the Wild, which I think I'd really enjoy still. I can't justify I'm not a big Zelda guy, and it's on the Switch rather than my PC, and I'd rather play games on my PC while I'm stuck inside rather than on the Switch.
Did you say you were going to get the new Animal Crossing or not?
No, I'm not. It's not. I'm not an Animal Crossing guy. But the thing is with those games, it's a type of game where I'm interested and I want to play it, but it's not on PC. It's on a Switch, so there is a downside. It's the type of thing where I'm like, well, I'll get it when it comes down in price then. But it's Nintendo. Yeah. That doesn't happen. They're 60 quid forever. So, and same with Mario Odyssey, even Pokemon Sword, like the latest Pokemon game. I think Pokemon is more likely to entice me than the other ones, but it works a bit different and it's a bit weird again. So there's Binding of Isaac, the best Binding of Isaac version, but again, that's sort of like, I would get that if I was going on a long trip somewhere, so I could play it portable. I feel like there's better things I could get on my PC that I could get into. There's not really any story and stuff. And sorry, I'll just finish this off first. The other two I've got are both PS4 games, and the PS4 exclusive as well. It's the Shadow of Colossus remake and God of War. Yeah. And I've not really got my PS4 set up very well, and I don't know. I'm not really that into, because I've got another screen for playing PS4 games like on my bed, in a more sort of casual scenario, but it's being used by my parents at the minute because they're working from home and they wanted an extra monitor to use. So I don't know. Yeah. So none of those are that appealing. I'm trying to go through like the top games of last year to see if I can pick any of those out. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I was just...
Go on, sorry.
Look, I was just going to say, I thought I wouldn't be, but I actually really, really want to play the new Animal Crossing. And I think I want to, because this just... All the time when I'm playing games, I always get fucking frustrated. I'm like, especially because I've just picked up Overwatch again, that I get very fucking angry at Overwatch.
Yeah, I sent you a picture earlier today to show you how angry I get.
I got very fucking angry when I was playing Apex. I adore Witcher, but there was a lot of time when I got pissed off at that because there's some bullshit in that. I just get angry at I got angry when I played fucking Doom because Doom can get like a bit hard in places.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to play a game that I can sit there and just go, oh, this is really nice. I really like this.
To be honest, that's why I liked playing that Star Wars game I'm on about, the Fallen Order game, because it's, well, I don't know. It's not like a cutesy little thing, but it's relaxing. Like, it's not, or at least it can be. I really appreciate. I slapped it on the easiest difficulty and just enjoyed the story. That's all I was bothered about. Like, I put it on the one just above easy because it shows you. It's got like these bars that sort of show you how like difficult certain things are going to be, and I put it on the one that didn't seem stupid easy. It was like one above the very easiest one. And the first sort of bigger enemy I came across, I felt a twinge of Dark Souls. Like, I thought, if I level up a bit and come back to this, I could probably beat it fairly easily. But I don't really want to. It's there right now, you know?
Yeah.
So I liked that was an option for it. So I'm just going
Did you play Dark Souls?
No. I knew straight away I would hate Dark Souls. The whole point of what Dark Souls is about is not for me at all.
Yeah. I played Dark Souls, and to be honest, I fucking despised Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I could not stand it.
Is it because it was like difficult and like purposefully not fair level difficult?
Well, yeah, it was to do with that, but also just I didn't get into the story either. Like I just didn't. I know the story is basically. I feel like you have to read into it a lot. Like, you need to Google shit on the wiki, and you need to deep dive into this lore. And I just didn't. I like Bloodborne more because I feel like the combat's a bit better. I got a bit more into Bloodborne, and also I really like H.P. Lovecraft, and it's very heavily inspired by Lovecraft's work.
Sekiro one.
Sekiro, it looked pretty cool. And I think I'm pretty sure I heard it was a bit easier than the other two. So, but I've just never been into the whole. It's Japanese, isn't it? It's I've never really been into that sort of setting. So I never really looked into it. I looked into Bloodborne the most.
Okay, so my I've got like some. Hold on. Wait, that one. Right, I want to go over like a summary of the games that we've sort of talked about. So 2 that I want to ask you about first before we go over the list of contenders. The Division, Tom Clancy's The Division. What do you know about that?
I hear it's quite divisive.
Good one. Fucking hell, it's nearly 8 o'clock. What have we been doing? So
I don't know. I haven't heard shit about Division. I heard that the first one was pretty bad. That's it.
See, I'm looking at the Division 2, and whenever it's a second game in a series, if I'm wanting to get into the story, I'm already like, type of thing. I need to have played the first one, and if the first one's fairly old, and it makes me like not as interested in playing it because it's not held up as well.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I do find interesting about it is it seems like an sort of like a not an MMO, but like sort of like a shooter RPG, like a third-person shooter RPG that's online.
Yeah. Did you play The Darkness?
Oh no, but I watched you play it, and I enjoyed watching you play it.
Yeah, I think you should play The Darkness. The Darkness is really cool. Yeah, the first one is older, but it's still pretty good. I didn't play the first Darkness. I played the second one because there's a little. I don't know why I think I got it because it was like £10 a game or something, and I thought, oh, the box art looks metal as fuck. I want to get it, and it's one of my favorite games ever. there's a little like catch-up thing at the beginning which explains the story in the first Darkness, but it's play the first one as well because the first one's good.
Yeah, but it came out in 2007. It's too old.
Yeah,
and
it's so good.
The other problem with that, Judd, is that it's a lot more risky as to whether the game's even going to fucking work when it's that old. Just think about Bulletstorm.
Darkness 2 then.
Well, that's the thing, and then I'm not getting the story from Darkness 1, and I don't know, it's just not as... with how many games are out there, it needs to be more appealing. It sounds like The Division's not worth looking at then. Have you heard about this game that came out last year that's got very good ratings called Control?
Have you heard about games? Just in general? Like, what is that about? Come on.
Do you know what I'm wondering right now? What is going on with you just being like right in the corner of your screen?
I'm slumped back. I'm relaxing.
You're barely
I'm at work all day, and I'm going to do a fucking podcast about video games.
Video games. So have you heard about this game called Control?
I feel like I've heard about it, but not actually seen anything about it.
I'm looking at some of the images on it. It looks quite cool, but it looks like it might be a bit weird.
Notes coming to mind.
I might look into that a bit more. It's been rated really well.
Yeah.
Shall I read the summary on it? Shall I read it? Shall I read you what it says? Control is an action-adventure video game developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by 505 Games. I think they change their company name every time they make a game. So, like, next time they make a game, they'll be called 506 Games.
I have heard good stuff about them. I'm pretty sure I enjoy whatever they put out.
It says, the game revolves around the Federal Bureau of Control, a secret US government agency tasked with containing and studying phenomena that violate the laws of reality.
Oh, so basically it's like the SCP Foundation then. It's just that, but not.
No, I don't think it's that sort of thing. It feels more like adventure-y than sort of scary or anything like that.
Okay.
You play as this redhead chick who looks pretty hot. Is that worth buying it? Who knows? I don't know. It looks interesting. I just don't know enough about it. Let's see how much it costs on CD keys. Control. It costs So it costs 25. So right. This is the list of contenders we've got at the minute for the story game I'm going to play, Judd. I know you're very interested in this. A lot of your life revolves around it.
I'm hoping that you get through it quick so we can end the stream and I can go have a shit. That's how interested I am.
I kind of need one of those too. So we've got Far Cry New Dawn coming in, weighing in at 14 pounds. We have Far Cry New Dawn.
Winner of no awards.
Winner of no awards. Or anyone's
played by none.
It's that no one plays it. In fact, the predecessor was terrible. And coming in at £7.80, we have Titanfall 2, made by a beloved publisher. The last game didn't even have a story, but this one is maybe good.
Can I just say, when you said like the coming in at £15 thing, I thought you were just doing like a random bit, you was just price. Making up a random weight for it. I only just realised that's the price.
Right, okay. Just to put that in perspective, Judd, on this website, the Titanfall 2 has been rated 5-star with 114 views. New Dawn has also been rated 5-star by 18 reviews. The difference in people who played it. I would have thought more people... I think there's more fans of Far Cry than Titanfall as well, surely.
Yeah.
And then... right, okay, next...
But, to be fair, is that... Because it's on CD keys... Is that a rating of trust for the source? Or...
No, it's of the game.
Okay.
Although, to be fair, The Outer Worlds has only got 6 reviews. Coming in at £30 whole. That's a lot. The Outer Worlds. Good. Think so. Judd liked the first bit of it. Yeah.
It was alright. I laughed a few times.
Seems like a maybe slightly worse version of Borderlands.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's kind of like Rage, but seems like better than Rage because Rage sucks. I played the first Rage game and it was terrible. Because I looked at Rage 2, I thought, right, I'll play the first one and then I can play the second one. The first one was so bad that I thought, I'm not going to play the second one.
Yeah, I never heard very good stuff about the second one either. And I was thinking about getting the second Rage as well, but
I looked up the year that game came out. If it had come out in 2007, I'd have been alright. It came out in like 2012, Rage 2. And it's just competitive.
Rage 2?
Rage
what?
1, sorry, first Rage.
Right.
And I compared it to some other games that came out of that time. It's just terrible. Right,
Yeah.
okay. And coming in at £25, we have Control. This is quite an unknown game, but it looks kind of interesting.
I don't think I've ever heard about it, actually, to be honest.
So what do you think? I'm thinking that I would probably knock off The Outer Worlds because I could just play Borderlands 3 again or do some Borderlands 3 stuff. And it's £30. What's your thoughts?
I don't know. To be honest, like if you're talking about a single player game, I still think you should get The Witcher just for the mileage you're going to get out of it. Like it's on sale. I don't know. It probably is still on sale on PlayStation now for like £7.
Well, I'll see how much The Witcher is as well then. But the thing is, I'm not necessarily looking for loads of mileage. I'm just looking for a nice experience, just a nice experience essentially. If I get the Game of the Year edition, it's 15, and the normal edition is 9.
Is that The Witcher?
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. So Game of the Year is going to be like the DLCs then as well, isn't it? So
I don't know.
That's going to be Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, and both of those are good. Blood and Wine is maybe even better than the original game.
Game of the Year edition. Edition The Witcher 3. Game of the Wild Hunt. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Game of the Year edition is a complete package, including the Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine expansions. So is there only 2 expansions?
Yeah, just those 2 story things.
That's still more appealing to me than the Outer Worlds, even though I've not played the first ones.
Yeah, Hearts of Stone is probably you might get through that story in a day. Blood and Wine, it's almost another game put on top of it, so it's really good.
Okay, well, because that's so cheap for all of that, that does kind of appeal to me more than this Control game I've never heard of. So I think I'll knock that off. Far Cry New Dawn is like pretty much the same price, it's Far Cry though, and I don't trust Far Cry anymore, especially being as it's in that same setting. So I should listen to people and go with The Witcher. I think what I'm gonna do, right? I think I'm gonna go with Titanfall 2 and play through the story of that, because it's £7.80. It's like not much.
Yeah.
And then even if I get through that quick and I'm feeling like, drawn to the Wild Hunt, or even if I'm like, I don't want to play more shooters because I play Apex all the damn time, then I can always get the Witcher. And then in total, it's been like £22, which is less than the price of the Outer Worlds, really, isn't it? So
yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you for helping me come to that decision. You are now free to go and have a shit. We've done this podcast for over an hour and a half because we were talking about games and I just didn't want to stop. So
shit and piss. Oh, that's a big spider.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see how bored you are now. Right, same time next week.
Look at that stain on the wall. That's a weird stain.
You should come to next week's podcast with some stories of work and tell us about what you've been doing at work. Like there was I stripped this one wire and it came off perfectly fine, and then this other one, the same thing happened, and then the third one I did, also it worked completely fine, and then the fourth one I did, that one was the same, and then something like that.
I'm tired of this bit. I need to go shit.
Right. Okay. Bye. 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 Podcast. We're going to go
Bye.
shit. Bye.